family, this is breaking news. I have to do this video again. I just recorded a 20-minute video and it didn't record my voice, so that sucks, but it doesn't matter. Still gonna get this out. Ain't gonna spend too much time. Just want you guys to keep a heads up. You know what I mean? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, put on the notification bell, and make sure I try to keep these things up to date. If anything big happens, you know what I mean, I'll probably come back on, do another video. Unfortunately, I can't go live yet on YouTube, so you know what I mean, you just don't have to get it after I upload it or whatever. But I'm not going to do any editing on these things. I'm just going to make sure I get the information out as fast as possible. So if you haven't heard, Iran attacked Israel with a bunch of I forgot what they call them, like cruise missiles and stuff like that. If you don't know anything about the defense over there in Israel, they have something called like the Iron Dome, and it's basically the surface to air missile defense system. And the problem with that itself is that, I mean, it's really good, one of probably the best in the world, but like each time they launch a missile from there to protect themselves, it costs about $50,000 each time. So when you have Iran and Hezbollah, which I'm pretty sure is the ones, you mean more so the ones that are sending those over right now, they can launch those missiles at like a fraction of the cost. You know what I mean? So it might cost Iran $50,000 each time to knock down a missile, but it costs them, it costs Iran or Hezbollah, $5,000 per missile, $10,000 per missile. You know what I mean? So it's not even close to being the same. So they just keep sending those over there and deplete their cache or whatever of their missile defense. So that's what's going on right now. You know what I mean? It's basically the world we're moving from these little proxy wars and stuff like that, and this setup. I mean, setting up World War III takes a long time, and everybody get their preparation. So everybody's like, oh, don't cross this red line, don't cross that red line, and then people cross the red lines eventually, and then nothing really major happens. The reason for that is because everybody's not ready yet to actually do the real thing all the way. But there's just getting to that point where they're not really gonna have a choice, anymore. So this whole little, if you do this or you do that, you know what I mean, like, and using other countries to make it seem like you're not part of the war and stuff like that, that's going out the window now. So if you don't know why this happened, you know what? Let me see. I don't think I have it. Don't have it. I had it earlier. Had it earlier and then I lost it because what happened. But I'm gonna see if I can pull this back up real quick. So Iran was attacked in Syria by Israel. So Israel bombed the embassy of Iran in Syria. If you know anything about embassies, it's basically like you attacking that country. So even if Iran had a place over here, an embassy over here, and it was bombed by the U.S., it's no different than the U.S. actually sending missiles to Iran. Let me play this clip real quick, kind of give you guys an explanation of where this kind of, I mean, it started way before this, but this is the spark that really got things going. So if you haven't been paying attention, we're at that time where, just going about your life without understanding what's really going on and why there's inflation on everything right now. Everything costs way more. The cost of living is outrageous, you know what I mean, and is going to get worse and worse because we're going to be going into military wartime. And if you don't know what that means a lot of these executive orders can be enacted.
Killed 7 military advisors, including 3 senior commanders. The target, according to Iranian state media, was top Revolutionary Guards commander Mohammad Reza Zahedi. He had been a senior commander in Iran's elite Quds force, the Corps' overseas arm, according to the Guards. Iran's ambassador to Syria, Hossein Akbari, said Tehran's response would be harsh. Syria's foreign minister condemned the attack. Its state media cited a military source saying Israel launched the attack from the occupied Golan Heights, and that its air defense system shot down some of the missiles. The strike appeared to signal an escalation in Israel's war against Iran's regional proxies. Israel has long targeted Iranian military installations in Syria, as well as the proxies. Monday's attack marked the first time Iran's embassy compound itself had been hit. Since the attack on Israel nearly 6 months ago by Palestinian group Hamas, which is also backed by Iran, Israel has ramped up strikes in Syria against Iran's guards, as well as Hezbollah, the Tehran-backed Lebanese armed group. They both support Syria's government of President Bashar al-Assad. The White House said it was still looking into reports about the strikes, while State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said the goal is still to prevent any possible escalation.
See, they always make it seem like they gotta keep looking into stuff like they ain't got some of the best, like cyber information. You know what I mean? The information is there, and they always gotta make it seem like we gotta do a study or we gotta do a this or we got, you know what I mean? Even though they know, they just don't want to put it out there, so they try to put it on the back burner. But that happening basically put things on where Iran was like, y'all paying for this. Like, it ain't gonna be how all the US say, oh well, you guys did this, so we're gonna put sanctions on you, or we're gonna do this, and it's like a bunch of nothing. You know what I mean? Just empty calories that they're feeding to everybody. And Iran's not like that, right? So let's go into a couple other things real quick. So one other thing that happened over in Israel, besides the missiles that they're launching, is a cyber attack. So, you know, we talk about that over here, dealing with cyber attacks and things getting shut down, and you know, we had that tanker incident that hit that bridge. That was a cyber attack, and they talked about those big tankers and things like that happening, or not happening, but the possibility of it happening, because the defense on those things are nothing. They ain't got no real security on those ships, so they can shut those things down and or control them or whatever from just about anywhere. You know what I mean? So you can see that that tanker was having power outages and stuff like that, and now that particular tanker and that company is filing a claim on insurance, so they don't have to be liable for anything, because they're claiming that they had nothing, they had no control over the ship when it happened, because something happened to the ship. So they're letting you know, they try to put it in certain words where it's like, well, there's a cyber attack. Basically, we got attacked, so we're not responsible for the bridge collapse because it wasn't us that did it. It was somebody else, right? So, and one other thing is too, also there's a couple other bridges that were hit by tankers, but they didn't fall, you know what I mean, because the damage wasn't that great. But it doesn't mean that there wasn't other ones also attacked that might have been way out to sea, and they're just way out there, you know what I mean, and they didn't hit anything. They probably lost power and no one's around, so it doesn't matter. So you ain't gonna hear anything about those. You know, I heard someone talking about that the other day, and I'm like, this is a good point, because it probably happened to a bunch of other ships, and no one really knows. Now, if you watch the video that we did on Leave the World Behind, it shows you that big old ship, the oil tanker, crashing to the shore. You know what I mean? Because of the power outages and cyber attacks and whatever that was happening. So they're showing you ahead of time. They're showing you already ahead of time. So if you're not one of those people that think that they don't put the information in movies and shows and stuff like that, that's a good example right there, along with everything else that's coming down. You know what I mean? Including that show, the movie that just came out on Thursday, Civil War. You know what I mean? And then other things like that. Even this show called Fallout. I'll play a clip from that later on. But so yeah, cyber attacks. Let's see what it says right here. It says cyber attack has allegedly hit Israel websites on Saturday, urging residents to stockpile items and prepare for war. So now they're letting their people. They're telling their people for real this time. Prepare for war. Water, food, whatever else you think you need to have, you know what I mean, for your family to survive. Make sure you get enough of it. It says, according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, let's see, residents have been advised to stockpile food and water ahead of imminent attack by Iran on Israel. Now it says imminent attack, even though they've been getting hit with cruise missiles from Hezbollah, and their Iron Dome is taking most of that stuff down. They're allegedly sent over 100 drones with missiles to Iran. And I'll show you some of that information in a minute. Now over here you can see these little pictures right here they have of the cruise missiles in the sky coming down, and they're getting hit. You see this when they're big like that, that's because their dome is hitting it and it's blocking them from getting in. All right, so it says power outages have been reported in several cities, including Tel Aviv, due to alleged cyber attack. And Tel Aviv is like the main city over there in Israel, if you didn't know. The attack may have been launched by Iran-backed group called Cyber Avengers, according to reports. So I'm just gonna leave it there with that. Here's another picture of those things getting sent out, and then the Iron Dome doing its thing. So let's close this out. A lot of stuff. A lot of people are going live right now. A lot of news places are live, trying to give people information. As far as the drones, they're not there yet, but they're on their way. Let's see. You can play this clip.
From our defense team, we've learned that the U.S. has been moving additional assets to the region to really bolster the protection of U.S. forces in the region and try to bolster deterrence. We're also hearing from our Margaret Brennan and Pentagon producer Ellie Watson that the U.S. Has fighter jets on standby. Israel, as we know, says that it's been preparing for this attack, for the worst case scenario of what sources told CBS News could be more than 100 drones and ballistic missiles. But at the same time, experts on the region have said that while they believe Iran seeks retaliation, they also believe that Iran does not seek conflict or a situation that would draw in the United States. Lana?
I don't know how that's supposed to be, but we'll see. You know what I mean? They do like to get things going and seem like it's going to go crazy, and then all of a sudden it windows back down. But like, where is the line? Where is the actual line drawn at? No one really knows where the actual line is drawn at, because people step over the lines that they say they drew, you know what I mean, and they do something else like this. You know what I mean? So we'll see, you know what I mean, if their little tit for tats become like heavy, like haymaker blows, you know what I mean, back and forth, where people will start to really really like take lives, you know what I mean? And this is just dealing with Israel, not even talking about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now. You know what, one thing I wanted to pull up also, is this, that I don't know if I talked about it in this video, so I'm almost forgetting, so I apologize if I repeat myself. But in the Jerusalem Post, it says Iran nuke scientist says not complicated to build atomic bomb. When producing a nuclear bomb, you make a device where the chain reaction is not controlled, so it is much easier. The important point is that our nuclear capabilities are high. So for him, for over in Iran, it's no different than, okay, you can't have nukes. All right, that's fine. So we'll just have all the stuff to make nukes laying around, and then when we do want to make them, you know what I mean, and break that treaty or whatever, we could just make them. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. Is like, okay, you can't have them, but they can also make them. So once it gets to like a wartime scenario, which is kind of what's happening now, they can just turn around and just make them, you know what I mean, before they actually really take it to that point. Because obviously you want to make sure you have yours ready to go, versus trying to build them while they're sending nukes towards you. That's not going to do you any good. So let's see. I'm going to read these two little paragraphs right here. It says, Iran nuclear scientist Mohammad Reza, I ain't gonna say his whole name, declared on Sunday that the construction of a nuclear weapon is not complicated for a nation like Iran that has high atomic capabilities. So that's pretty much, I'm just leaving it at that point. But it's, the whole point is they don't have any right now, but it ain't nothing for them to make it. All right. So these are updates. More and more updates. I'm probably getting past. There's some stuff on here that I wanted to read from earlier. But one thing that I did see that Iran said is that if the U.S. intervenes or sends whatever over to them, like, they ain't gonna let them do what they did over in what do you call that, Ukraine, like how they're doing that proxy war type stuff. Like, Iran's like, we ain't dealing with that. You guys are gonna do the same thing over here, then we coming for you too. You know what I mean? Even though that lady just said the opposite of, you know what I mean? So it's got, you got conflicting conflicting things, but I don't know. We'll see. It says U.S. has official significant military presence in region and has said it will defend Israel. So now you're talking about, they said they don't want to bring the U.S. into it. Iran said that supposedly, but yet you're sending a bunch of drones over there. So the U.S. is already like, we're already over there, so we're gonna help defend. You know what I mean? So it says, let's see, this is a quote. It says, "We are devoted to defend the defense of Israel," he said from the White House. "We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed." All right. So, yeah, this is giving you a little bit of a rough estimate of what's going on. It says another roughly 1,000 U.S. troops are still en route to help set up a floating pier that would be used to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. So it's weird because you got them helping Gaza on one side from Israel, but then they're going to help Israel also to help them from Iran. This is a mess, dude. This is some funny business going on. So Israeli military is tracking approach of more than 100 drones, officials say. So again, another 100 drones. And it's really official told briefing Saturday night that more than 100 drones have been launched towards Israel from Iran. Their approach towards Israel is being tracked, and all necessary steps are being taken to defend the country, the official added. So you got those coming in. They're unwavering, blah, blah. So yeah, that's, excuse the pictures on the side. All this stuff going on. And this is just little pinpoints of what they're saying and what they're supposedly doing right now. It says Iranian state news reports first wave of ballistic missiles fired towards Israel. So yeah, we're pretty much going to see the beginning of this thing. You know what I mean? We'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far it goes. Let me see if there's anything new. I'm trying to find more information, but they're making it hard. I can tell you that right now. They are not making it easy to try to find information. That's why you end up, you go to some channels and stuff like this one, where they have live cameras. These countries, and even here in the U.S., like they all have cameras that you can access. There are public cameras like traffic cameras and just weather cameras and stuff. You can easily access those and see what's going on, unless they black them out or whatever. You know what I mean? So right now it looks like a bunch of nothing, literally just crickets. But I'm gonna play this clip real quick from Fallout. This is I don't know if it was a book before, or if it was a game, or I know it was a game. I haven't played it, but just to give you an idea of what it might look like when this place is bombed, or just what I was talking about earlier, dealing with nukes. They're not dealing with nukes like they used to talk about, or dealing with MAD, what they used to call MAD, mutual atomic destruction or whatever like that. It was like, you send nukes, I'm gonna send nukes, and we just blow each other to smithereens and none of us survive type thing. It's not really like that anymore. There's more tactical nukes. You know what I mean? You even got backpack or suitcase nukes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? To where you're talking about taking out, a 20 square mile radius, which kills, it will definitely kill a lot of people and do a lot of damage in the surrounding areas. But like the impact of it, you're talking about a 20-mile radius. So this is not that big if you think of an atomic bomb, but that's pretty big for just, But if you send 50 of those, and or whatever to one state, or multiple states, stuff like that. I'm gonna play this clip real quick.
All right, one piece of cake coming up from my favorite cowgirl.
Is it your thumb or mine?
That's smoke, Janie. It's just a fire.
look how long it takes for the wave. You can see it coming, but it takes a while to get there. That impact is crazy. I'm gonna go cut the music, and I don't want to have no copyright strikes or whatever. You know what I mean? This is fair use. Not doing it for monetary gain. Educational purposes only. You're gonna see them drop a couple more. You see how big that city is, you know what I mean? So the one they dropped over there is not going to affect the one all the way to the far left of the screen. So they had to drop another one all the way to that far left of the screen to affect that area. You see what I'm saying? So, but those are nukes. Those are just tactical nukes. All right. So there's that. Already talked about what I was saying before. So yeah, just you guys just keep your head on the swivel. I'm trying to make some more of these videos. Can't go live, I think I said already, but you know, try to get these out and just pay attention. If you have questions, you know, I know a lot of this information. I might know more than most people would know, or other people that might know stuff. Look, they got 2 more updates already on here. It says U.S. air defense intercept Iranian drones targeting Israel. U.S. official says, well, wait a minute. It says U.S. air defense systems in Middle East have intercepted Iranian drones, according to 2 U.S. officials. The source did not specify how the U.S. intercepted the drones and where. So now the U.S. done put their foot in the pot. So we'll see what's cooking. You know what I mean? Because this is, yeah. Hezbollah says it launched dozens of rockets at IDF air defense headquarters. So they were shooting for the headquarters. The IDF is the Israel Defense Force headquarters, which says, I think this says it's in Caleb Barracks area of the Golan Heights. In a statement, Hezbollah declared its support for the Palestinian people in Gaza and their resistance against Israeli attacks on civilian areas. Hezbollah said the attack was carried out at 12:35 a.m. local time on Sunday. So keep that in mind. A lot of these things will happen at night. So when you sleeping, even over here, you know what I mean, things might pop off. You know what I mean? It says UK and France condemn Iran's attack on Israel. So I think I might have read that one already, but man, oh man. You know, so just, you know, stay prayed up, be ready, you know what I mean, just in case anything does happen. You know, that last little part that I just read about the U.S. intercepting it already is no bueno. So I'm already at 23 minutes. I'm trying to get this video out. You know what I mean? Just, you know, be prepared. Be prepared for anything. You know, we're past that time, you know what I mean, with the eclipse and all that stuff. So you don't know what's going to happen.